Doing well. Just back with you with a bit of a different video recap today. First of all, you get to see me, what I look like. Hi, this is me, the voice behind all these videos. Just going to talk with BNTC a little bit and just explaining sort of the trade I took on it. Very, very small trade. I'm working my small account right now, just trying to stay safe in the markets. The markets have had a bit of a shift, it seems like, in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Even looking at the Nasdaq here. Let's take a look at 3 month, actually 6 month pullback, and we've kind of come down from 340s, and we're struggling here to break past 325, 324, right? And if you look at the 300 level, that's actually close to where we were at back in September, right? So this is where we were before the previous chop zone, and then we finally broke out of that early November, and then ran up, and then now we're back and going through the same sort of thing. And if you look at the time span here between the previous dip until we finally broke out, between September and December, right? So about 3 months. And so we'll see what happens here. New stimulus checks in the States basically just went out, and people are still at home. A lot of them are at home. So the markets are still hot, and I think there is still a lot of potential in front of us to break out of the 330s, 340s and go, even though there's a lot of market noise with regards to corrections coming and whatnot. So anyway, this is my opinion. With BNTC, very, very nice trade. One of the top percent gainers today, right? Like if we go and take a look at our screener, you can see, let me sort these by percent gainers and run my basic percent gainers. There we go. Well, this is not it. I'll do that one more time just to show you the process. That's fine. Scans, percent gainers under 20 bucks. And then I'll filter them a little bit here. So we'll do 15% through, sorry, no, 2 million shares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want stuff above at least a penny. Stay above penny land. And top percent gainer is number 2, I guess. BNTC is the second percent gainer. So what did I see? What was my thesis on it? I took a trade on here. You can see it in Tractor Brokers. Small 50 share position, sold 2 entries. So bought here, sold here. The stock ran up to the 850s. Very, very nice run. Pretty straightforward trade. So this is something that I usually teach in my courses and in my educational content that I cover a lot. And it's just it's your short squeezes, right? And this is a big percent gainer from after hours yesterday, continued into pre-market today, and continued even before the market opened. And then, as the case is with a stock that goes from 3 to 850, almost close to 9, this thing had to pull back, right? That's called correcting the inventory, as they say on Wall Street. They've got to run things up and run them back down in order to correct that inventory. And then once we sort of found this dip zone right here, this was interesting to me. And there's no way I could have called this bottom. It's kind of in the middle of the range. Even if you just use technical analysis, where is this thing going? Is it taking the stop losses out in 570s and then bouncing the 520s? It's an arbitrary number, really nothing that you can, in my opinion, perfectly pinpoint. But what caught my attention, and you'll see that here with my trade at what was that, 2:40 p.m. Yeah, so that would have been at 2:40 p.m. is right here. Let me zoom in. So you can see at the top of the mouse where the time is, 2:40. So right in here I took a trade. Why I like this so much is because we've gone down to the 520s, slowly trickling on our way back up, testing VWAP, pull back a little bit as the case usually is. VWAP is a psychological level for a lot of traders that are just trading based on technical analysis. And then finally we punched through VWAP, and I just wanted to get filled on the dip on VWAP, thinking to myself that, okay, if this is going to go, then it has the potential, because it's likely massively shorted. Something that's down this much has a lot of short interest typically. And if it's not going to go in my favor, then I'm risking off of 620, right? And if you look back, you see that 620 is like a multiple area of technical resistance, which now can act as support on the bounce back. So my stop loss, I think you'll see, was in the 617s, if I'm not mistaken. What was it? 617, 631. Right. So 631. I was using 631 as a hard stop. Okay. And to me, that's just the stock's no longer holding the thesis. It's bouncing off of VWAP, coming back down. It's not working. But the flip side, it worked out. So very high odds entry. Now, a lot of people I find, especially following YouTube content, they're just looking at technical analysis. They're looking at EMA 5, EMA 20. They're looking at these indicators. Maybe they're looking at just VWAP. They're maybe just looking at volume. They're maybe looking at technical support and resistance, and that's how they're basing their trades. And I just think that with the majority of trades, if you want them to be successful, if you want them to be, higher odds, I guess is the word, it's usually better to have a fundamental behind you as well. Like if you have a good reason, a good thesis behind why you're taking a trade, and just letting technical analysis more so just act as a finesse, a pinpoint that just makes your entry price a little bit just better and a bit more tweaked and in your favor. Okay, so what is the big catalyst on BNTC that supported my trading thesis? And this is, I think, one of the biggest takeaways from this video lesson, is taking a look at basically the hype. So obviously today's the 23rd, and we can see right from pre-market that at 8:31 a.m., Benitech Biopharma shares surge 120% pre-market as Morgan Stanley boosts stake. So anytime you have a big institution like Morgan Stanley boosting their stake in something, you should be taking note. And if you can catch it on a dip, and it happens to also be the day's percent, hey, we're looking at this thing go right now. What time is this? This is 3:17. So the short squeeze likely continuing. When you have such a big entity like Morgan Stanley taking a stake or buying interest in something like this, you want to pay attention to that. You want to pay attention to any sort of key level to get in if there is signs of strength, right? So where is the sign of strength on this? Well, the sign of strength is nothing more than when this thing starts rebounding off the 530s. This isn't rocket science, right? And then it tests the VWAP, which is the psychological level, and pulls back to higher lows. And then finally it pushes through VWAP. And usually when you get that first push through VWAP, you tend to have a retest of the VWAP, and then it's a moment of truth. Is it going to go or is it going to fade, right? So that's that, and a fantastic run. I mean, I think took, was it almost 15% on it? I want to say 15 or 16% on that trade. So very, very happy about that. And let's talk about the next key level here. So pre-market highs to 850. You should be thinking to yourself that there is no surprise that this thing has issues up here, right? This is a historic psychological level where there was a massive sell-off. So let's say anybody who was holding and hoping through that massive dip, they're probably going to look to get out for scratch or break even or something like that, and put selling pressure. And shorts know this very well. If they can locate shares to short, that could historically be a very good place to short, and it looks like it was. But one of the things I spend a lot of time talking about in my courses, it's to learn to visualize the law of the U. I think it's not really a secret out there. It's just something that if you observe the markets enough, you can see. The law of the U is very straightforward. It's typically what happens at the breakout level. If a breakout is truly supposed to happen, then typically you get a test of that resistance, you get a pullback off of that resistance, and then you get the rip, right? So you get the run, the break of the resistance, which we got right here, the pullback, and then the rip. And this is the law of the U that we're looking at right now. It shapes into a U. Technical pattern. Now, before you go and start just trading laws of the U and start listening to some random guy on YouTube telling you what to do, it's not just as simple as just trading the law of the U, okay? You can't just apply that to any stock and hope for the best. You need to have understanding into what actually runs the market. Like understand that, okay, you got Morgan Stanley. Yes, Morgan Stanley backing these guys up. Hype is at an all-time high. And on top of that, we're trading a tremendous amount of volume on this thing, right? So there's more that goes into it to support the technical law of U for a successful trade. Okay. Now with trading, the other thing as well to keep in mind, at least this is something that keeps me safe and keeps me grounded, when we're going through these different market environments is to not get greedy. And that's really, really difficult. I think, especially in a time like right now, we're going through this kind of global pandemic and everybody is thinking of money and uncertainty and, trying to get whatever they can get. And, you know, in my experience, the best sort of results come from trading that sort of 10 to 15% run, capturing that massive spike, and then letting it be. And if you left some money on the table, then that's probably a good trade because you're probably never going to call the perfect bottom and the perfect top anyway. You're not probably a market maker. You probably don't have insider network on what's going to happen. So if you're able to capture that beautiful move and make money in the process doing so, that's really, really, really good. Now, something to keep in mind here as well is something that has ran now from the sixes to the nines. Um, Keep in mind, like this is setting up now for potential short again. Now, I don't think you can actually locate any shorts and interactive brokers on the BNTC here. Yeah, it looks like it is shortable, but it's not easily shortable. They have to go and locate shares for you. And in my case here, you see, I left a lot of money on the table, but with the way I traded. But it fit my thesis, it fit my pattern, it fit my goals. So quick in and out. I think this was between 240 to 247. So 7 minutes, making 15% plus. A lot of people they wait years to get that sort of compounding on their investment portfolio. So that's that. And on the flip side, if we were going to take a loss, because I know a lot of people out there are saying, well, yeah, the trade worked out this time. What about the time when it doesn't work out? What are you going to do? Well, you keep your losses very tight. Let me tell you something. If you have a very tight loss ratio, okay, then you actually do not have to be winning all the time, right? So let me give you an example. You have 253 trading days in the year, right? Assuming you're a full-time trader, you're on the markets every day, you're in and out, and you're spotting these setups and you're taking them. If you limit your losses to 3-4%, and you're running a 50% win ratio, which means you win 50% of the time, you lose 50% of the time, then calculate that 3%, 4% loss across what is that, 170 days would be something in the vicinity of, I want to say, what is that, 500% loss, right? Something in that method. Now, if you take 15% and 20% wins, which also occur across the remaining 50% win ratio they have, what are you making? You're making a lot more money, right? You're making way more money than you're losing. So yeah, while you're taking a 500%, let's say, loss on your scenario, am I doing the math correct? I'm just rambling numbers here. Let's just do the math. So 253 divided by 2. So half the time you're taking losses, and those losses equate, let's say, 4%. So that's 506% loss. Yeah, so I'm about right. And then the other half, which is what was the number there? 126. So 120. Let's say 126 days you take wins, and they're 20% wins, 15%. Let's just be conservative, right? And then minus 500% loss, you're still coming out net profitable, right? So you're still looking at a 1,300% return on the year if you stick to keeping your losses small. And that's all, of course, assuming a 50% win ratio. Maybe you're a 30% win ratio, right? So let's run the math of 30%. Let's say you take 70% of the trades are a loss, and you take that at 3%. So it's 70%. I should do this. 70% times 253. Why is this not working? 70 times 253. So 177 days, you take a 3% loss on average. So 531, let's call it 600% loss. And then the 30% of the days where you are winning, you're taking, a 15% win, right? So minus 600%, we said that was the losses that you took. You're still coming out 500% profitable on the year in that account, right? So if you keep your losses small, the net result, it's a mathematical certainty that you're gonna win in this game. But where a lot of people, I think, get sort of faked out, and they don't believe in the markets, or they think it's all skepticism and skeptical, and it's all a scam, and all these gurus on YouTube are just full of it, which a lot of them are, is that they're just trading in and out, and they're holding and hoping through massive dips and massive runs, and that's not a viable strategy, right? But if you can take the BNTCs and repeat them, right, and stick to your tight losses, stick to those environments. I mean, 631. What was my entry of 650? Yeah, 657 was my entry price, and I was risking 631, right? So 631 by 657, right? So I'm taking a 4%, right? So I'm taking up a 4% risk for something that I am taking, like a trading thesis I'm taking, and my win ratio is about 50%, right? So the mathematical certainty in that process is that you're going to be profitable. But you know what? I gotta say, this is assuming that you're a full-time trader, 253 days. You're in and out every day. You're sticking to your loss ratio, every day. You're not getting stubborn, not getting emotional, right? So there's a human factor here we have to obviously uh, acknowledge and speak of. So these are all things that that are available to anybody who wants to learn this game. Okay, and I'm working with a small account for no other reason than the fact that I've got clientele that are just always usually starting out. They're usually beginning in their journeys. And of course, we have some more mature students, but typically most people with us, they're starting out, and they got to see relativity. I've got to show them that you can put $300 into an account and make $40, right? You be able to make that 15% on $300. I got to show that over and over so that they understand that you don't need to be pushing hundreds of thousands of dollars into the market to be profitable. You can start very, very small and still come out ahead. And with that, the light is clear. They can see that it's possible, and when they start seeing the mathematical certainty that this is a game where winning is possible, then they see what's real and what works for them, and they find their own strategies and ultimately their own edge in the markets. Everybody's teaching about trading their strategies and do this and do that. I just don't know if that's a good thing. I think everybody has to learn how the market works, and a lot of that requires education from somebody who knows. So whoever that is, I've been in the markets for years, so I can teach you, but you can find somebody else as well. It doesn't matter. Get your education from somebody who knows, and then from there, just screen time. Watch this stuff, see how it moves. Try to pick spots where you would take a trade psychologically. But you know what? I think this would be a good trade, good thesis, good news, good catalyst, good volume, right? All those things that you learn, and then see how it works out. And as you practice that on paper, then you can start dabbling with smaller amounts and then seeing the power of the markets. And you too can learn financial freedom off the stock market. So many people figure it out. It's just, I think, there's a statistic out there: 90% of the traders lose money, and I don't think that's true. I think the issue is that 90% of people, they see the power of the markets, they actually do make money, but because they haven't really figured out their psychological shortcomings, which is greed gets very easy to get sucked into. They go back at it. They start chasing the same stock they just made money off of, and then they give back money, and that's why the net result is that 90% of traders lose money. I don't actually think that if you take a look at the stats, the markets are continuously always uptrending. Yeah, you have massive dips. Yeah, you have pandemics, but ultimately the markets are always going up. So it's not hard to make money in the markets. I just think it's hard to manage what's going on up in there. Okay. So anyway, super sweet trade on BNTC. Just wanted to do a video lesson. If this is something you are interested in, of course, I'm going to give you an opportunity to work with me. If I'm somebody who you want to learn from, maybe I am, maybe I'm not, and that's fine. So we have a website. We're here in Canada, omnificentdev.ca. We're serving Canadians who want to learn the market. Of course, we're sharing our opinion-based counsel. We're not going to claim to be these gurus that have it all figured out. We've just figured out our edge in the markets, and we share our experiences, and we have courses for that. Okay. So you can come down here, find out about who it is we are. Nice little inspirational video we put together. Find out about me and who it is I am, what it is I do and how I'm able to trade, and also have my career on the sidelines. Of course, right now with the pandemic, I'm home more because there is nobody traveling. But, you can do this while having a career, while having a job. This can be your side hustle. You don't have to go and create a brand new product out there. This can be viable for somebody who's interested in it. Pardon me. Put together a little FAQ section here. Some really good information here. you know, what we do, how we work, if we're registered with the CSA or IROC and those guys, which we're not, and we'll explain to you why and how that all works. Some really good information there. If you go into get started here, or even if you click begin your journey underneath, I think I just missed that there. But anyway, you can come here. I put together a 2-hour webinar for you, and you can get educated for free for 2 hours on my entire know-how. I guess my internet's a little bit slow right now, so it's not showing up. But there's a webinar here for you to check out. You know, we have did a horrible job present. Oh, here we go. There's a webinar. So yeah, check it out. It's 2 hours and 11 minutes long. This is my financial know-how all put together. Okay, so you get to see what I've done. I'm a regular Joe, no special individual. I just had a conviction to figure this out. That's all it was. So I'm sharing my experience with anybody who wants to listen to it. And then you get to listen to what I have to say afterwards, what my clients are saying who've gone through my program. You know, multiple types of clients. We've got workshop clients, clients that take online courses, clients that work with me in person in a private coaching setting, all that sort of stuff. Okay, and then I've got some more FAQs that I answer here. If you got lots of questions, you can go through here. And, look at this thing go up. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, there it is. Look at that, finger troubles. So FAQ questions going on there for you. Super authentic, guys. We're not here to scam you out of anything. It's either you want to learn this or you don't. It's as simple as that. Reviews from Facebook. So how I support clients in their journey and you know, sort of the historic support structure I've created for people. You know, that's that. We send money to our clients who do well. We reward them that way. And you know, if you want to step in, feel free to do that. And we have our courses here. We have a free course to start with if you want to just get a feel for who it is we are. And then, you know, different tier packages as we go up as well. And they move up in price, obviously dependent on the value and the time that we're saving you to learn this material. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So that's that. BNTC, fantastic trade. Nice little, you know, midday, or I guess more afternoon video recap out in Ontario. I'm sitting here in Mountain Standard Time. And if you like more of these video lessons, just maybe shoot me a thumbs up or subscribe at the bottom or whatever you want. Visit our website, sign up, become a member. It really doesn't matter, okay? I'm here to help those that want the help, and those that don't want it, that's also okay. We'll see you on the sidelines. All right, guys? So take care, and I shall see you later on.